Alright fans, we've got a special SMFC TV features. We've got three legends of the club, Mike Valkanis, Steve Panopoulos and Paul Trimboli joining us today. We're going to find out a bit about them, what they think about the club and what they've been doing since we last saw them on the pitch. Going down the line, starting with you Michael, tell us about your time at South Melbourne and what it meant to you to play for the club.
Oh, well, I started here from 6 years of age as a junior. Obviously, being a Greek background, it was probably a dream come true to wear the blue and white shirt. And it was probably a club I'll never forget that I played for. It was a dream come true to wear the blue and white, and I'll always just remember the club as an outing, especially on a Sunday. I remember with Pan a lot of games watching together as young kids, where we'd all come out and watch greats like Trimmers score some great goals, and it was amazing that we actually got to play with some of our heroes as well. So it was a time that I'll never forget.
Thank you. Steve, you commanded that midfield for many years. Tell us about your time at South Melbourne.
Well, it's pretty similar to Mike's story. Coming from a Greek family, I was always a big supporter. Like, it was my passion as a team, as a supporter, and you know, many times we were ball boys and so on. We sort of broke through together with Jimmy Panopoulos, and you know, it was obviously a huge honour to play for South Melbourne. It was such a big club and big supporter base, the biggest club in the country. So, you know, it was tough back then, but you know, it was fantastic. So, you know, my memories are just all positive.
Fantastic. And Trimmers, was a bit different for you. You came to us from the Georgies. Tell us about your experience coming over from a different club and joining the South Melbourne Great.
Well, it's interesting because I think I played 18 years of senior football, and 17 were at South Melbourne, one was at George Cross. And as a kid growing up, obviously I'm not from a Greek background, but South Melbourne was always the biggest club, and we used to come along and watch when we were kids, and something about it, Middle Park, it just had the atmosphere, it had the big names. It was just, as a kid, the places you wanted to play in Australian football. And I was lucky because the year I was at Sunshine, we didn't have a very good year, we hardly won a game. And the first game we won was in round 14, and it was against South Melbourne. And I was lucky enough to score a couple of goals, and
I was so Rock City.
And on the back of that, Brian Garvey came and spoke to me and said that he wanted to sign me. And the moment they said they wanted to sign me, it was never any question. And I couldn't imagine that would be the start of you know, such a long journey. And similar to the boys, it was just something about this place where, for me, I remember Stevie. I've seen photos of one of the first trophies we won, the Buffalo Cup, and Stevie's in the background in the celebration because his cousin was playing. And then I remember Mickey, his family was running the restaurant at Middle Park, and he was always there looking after us after training. And then to see that these guys come through and then to play with them, and you know, to win grand finals and to be part of the history of this club was just fantastic. And I'm still here, and then I see these guys, and it's exciting to see these guys, and we talk about all our friends, and it's a massive part of my life.
Fantastic. I'll ask you each a question individually about yourselves and what you've been doing since you parted with South Melbourne and what's gone on in your football career since then. So starting with you, Mike, since you left South Melbourne, what have you done and what are you doing now?
Since I left South, I went to Greece. I played there for 7 years. Came back and I went over to Adelaide, where I've been playing with Adelaide United. It's been great for me there. I've had some great years there at Adelaide United, and last year I retired. I was supposed to go into some coaching, staying on at the club, but obviously now I'm director of football there and enjoying it thoroughly, although I'm doing a lot of hard work and I'm not used to being in an office from 9 to 5, but it's great.
Fantastic. How about yourself, Steve? What did you do after South Melbourne?
Yeah, my story's a little bit different. Well, with the change in the NSL to the A-League, it was a really good change for me, and I stopped playing earlier than I really wanted to, at 29. But you know, everything happens for a reason, thank God it did. I've moved over to Brazil in the last 4 years, and I started up a player management company with an agent friend of mine, and yes, that's what I do. I've got a player management company with about 50 odd players in Brazil, in Brazil and around the world, and I'm trying to convince Mickey here to sign a couple of them today, but I'm joking. So it's good to be involved in football still, and you know, like, playing was so important and so great, and to continue working in football, even though it's a different career path, it's fantastic. So that's what I'm doing now. I still live in Brazil, here on holiday for a couple of weeks.
Fantastic. And Trimmers, yourself, life after South Melbourne, what's it had for you?
It's been pretty good, I must admit. It's still a lot about football. I was lucky enough to be looked after by Puma during my playing career, and when I finished, I got offered a job there. So now I've been there about 4 years as the sponsorship promotions manager, and then a little bit on the side I do some media work, and the A-League with Fox Sports and SEN Radio, so it's pretty good. You get to watch football and get paid and talk and hang out with your mates. So like Panna said, it's not a bad life.
We always love listening to the 90th minute, so it was a great show with you and Zaponi back in the day. Final question for you all. About the club itself now, obviously we're not exactly where we want to be, but we want to move forward, and we're going to ask each of you how you feel about the club moving forward and what direction you think it's taking. So starting with you, Mike.
Oh, look, I think it'd be great to be able to see the blue and white again in the higher league and in the top league of the nation. Like I said, it meant a lot to us in the past, and it'd be great to see them there. So, you know, hopefully that can happen. I know a lot of things are changing in football, and that's happening continuously. And we've heard that a lot of things are going to happen in the near future. So, who knows? Hopefully, with a bit of luck, that can happen.
Well said, Steve.
Yeah, look, it's a bit hard for me to give an educated opinion because I don't live here anymore. So I haven't really lived the A-League VPL transition that much. So, but you know, just being here today, which has been my first time that I've stepped foot in the club in the last 5 years, and I've met a few board directors and people involved in the club that have come and spoken to me, and you know, they seem like really guys that are really on the ball and seem to have good ideas. And I've also been to some guy Nick about the stadium, and it looks like, you know, the ambition is still there, which is the most important thing, because once you give up hope, there's nothing else you can do. So I've also heard about a second tier competition probably arising. So look, you know, I think if the people that I've met, you know, go forward with their ideas, and the supporter base, which is always the strongest part of the club, comes back, and then I think South Melbourne's got everything to become what they used to be.
Excellent, and we're always keen to have you back at the club. Trimmers, how about yourself? What do you think about the club's direction?
Well, the same. I think it's been a very tough period for the club, and it's credit to, I mean, and I thought obviously as a club we were always a lot bigger and better as a club than say Preston, but I see where Preston have fallen to now, and you know, they've been around a long time too, and there's been a lot of clubs that have gone by the wayside, but credit to the people in South Melbourne that they've managed to continue through the tough times, and now there's some hope on the horizon, and with the whole new stadium development, and I think the key thing is to make sure the club's in the best state it can be as a club. Make sure that they're sound financially, that they've got their plans in order, that they secure their future, and then continue to have success on the field. Because I think as long as you're a successful club on the field, then people will aspire to come and play here, and then the club itself, as Hannah said, has an ambition to go higher. You're always a chance, and there'd be nothing greater than seeing South Melbourne back at the highest level of competition in this country. Because for me, I think they've been the most successful club in the last 50 years.
Excellent, very well said, Paul. Mike Valkanis, Steve Panopoulos, Paul Trimboli, thanks very much for your time. It's great to have you. That's all from us on SMFC TV. We'll see you later.